Okay, I'm Ryan from the Sign Guys. We've had some requests to do a quick install video, just a quick, simple how-to when you get customer install graphics. So today I've got this enclosed trailer. We picked one with some rivets on it so that we can kind of show you how to do some rivets. And yeah, so here we go. I've already cleaned this trailer. If it's really dirty and really greasy, you might need to use some degreaser. But then other than that, just a simple Windex, wipe it down, make sure all of the dirt and stuff is off of it is usually enough to clean it. This one was kind of rough. I had some paper towel stuff left behind, so I just took a rag and kind of wiped all that off. And now we're clean. We're going to center our graphic on this panel right here. And again, this one's pretty simple. So what I've got right here is I've got my layout. You always get a layout with your graphics. It kind of helps you position things. And then I have on here my measurements written from the other side that I've already done. So first thing you're going to want to do is take your masking tape and just make some tabs. Just general masking tape, 1-inch masking tape is fine. A lot of people use like the blue painter's tape, that's fine too. Just anything to kind of help you tape your graphics in place. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of generally lay these where they're going to go. Just pick them up, nothing too fancy or serious, just kind of get them in the general area that they belong. Like so. This one I had an extra piece up here just because it's kind of a funky shape. So then the first thing I want to do is center this left and right. And I've got, a lot of times you end up centering it on the whole trailer or panel or whatever. This particular one we want to center right above the wheel well, and I happen to have this panel that's right in line with the wheel well, so we're just centering it on this particular panel. And on the other side I know that I need to be 3/8 of an inch in from the edge of the panel. Let's see, this one's the same size. Pretty close. Grab my tape measure here. Got 1/4 of an inch there. Let's see. There's the edge of my panel there, and I'm almost touching. So this one's going to be just a little bit different than the other side. That's actually really close to 1/4 of an inch there. I'm going to come this way like 1/32 of an inch, just a little tiny bit. So I'm centered left and right, and then I have on here, I was 47 inches down from the top. Make sure you find a good straight edge, especially on a vehicle. They're kind of curvy. You never want to use the ground to level because different tire pressures, the springs a lot of times are different in the front and the back. So never use the ground to level. Always find something straight on the vehicle or the trailer to level from. This is pretty easy. I've got a super nice straight line across the top of the trailer that I used on the other side. And we came down 47 inches to the bottom of this. And 47 there. Just get it close on that first side. Then when you come over here to the second side, you want to spend a little more time and get it right on. See if that's going to hook. There we go. Yeah, I don't want it there. When you're doing this, you want to make sure that you're leveling to the same type of letters. So if I was to level to a round letter like a C or an S or an O on the first side, then you want to make sure to do that the same on the second side. This one here, I've got an I and an M, so they both have the same bottoms that I can level from. Maybe come up 1/4 of an inch here. That's pretty close. I've got a little silicone on this trailer, it's not catching. That's 47 there. Then we come over here and get our 47. Just about a 1/16 of an inch high there is all. Drop her down. There, we're at 47 there. So that bottom one's in place. Now I want to do the same with the top graphic. The other side, and here again, got a rounded letter and a rounded letter, so I'm going to use these to get my level line. What you don't want to do is use like a rounded C and a straight in, because your rounds drop down further than your straights. double check this side one more time, because when you measure here and then move this side, it's going to move just a little bit. We're still in pretty good shape. So there we go. It's right where it belongs. My centers look good. So next what I'm going to do is a hinge. I'm going to go ahead and put a piece of tape on this just to hold it out of my way for now. So just take your masking tape and pull it out. Straight edge, and you want to do it half on the graphic, half on the trailer, or your sign or your vehicle or whatever you're laying on. And lay it that way. This is called a bottom hinge. You can also do it on the top if you want it to fall down. You can do what's called a center hinge and lay it in the middle, and then work right to left. When you have a really long skinny graphic like this, a center hinge, sometimes it tends to get a little off. So I like a bottom hinge. I want a little bit more on my trailer right there. So tape it on there nice and good. Now on this graphic, we've got these rivets that we're working around on this trailer. Feel free to go ahead and take a pencil and just kind of draw in where them suckers are. On the bottom, I've positioned this graphic intentionally on the other side where I only have to deal with 2 of them. We've missed this row of rivets right below it. We went just above it. So what I'm going to do here, now that I know where my rivets are, go ahead and untape your sides, take your tabs off, and then I'm going to take a knife or a pair of scissors. Use a knife, just be careful not to cut the vehicle. I'm going to cut it right on these rivets. This isn't a print, these are individually cut letters with a mask on top. So you can cut in between the letters, no problem. I'm going to cut it right on that rivet line and then come down here in between letters, and I'm going to go ahead and cut it all the way to the tape like that. And then I'm going to do the same over here on this rivet. Go on the right side of that comma there, bring her down, and there we go. So now what I can do is take my squeegee. If you don't have a squeegee, you know, a really hard credit card, something like that will work. You don't want a rigid like a block because it needs to conform, especially like on this trailer. I've got a little dent in this metal so it's not perfectly flat. But something that's rigid enough to push all the air out. Go ahead and flip that down. You can peel your backing off. Just do it kind of slow. And this isn't too bad because these are bigger letters, but if you have really small letters, you want to peel it off nice and slow and just make sure every letter is sticking on the mask there. So go ahead and grab it and pull it up. Don't let it touch the trailer. First thing you want to do is lay your tape. Go ahead and just kind of scrape it up there and get your tape laid down nice and straight. And now we can go ahead and lay our graphic side to side. Work it all the way up. If you can keep your tape off of the letters, that helps. A lot of times you'll get a row of bubbles right on that tape line. So if you can keep that tape line off of your actual graphic, it'll help. So by cutting around these rivets, you can see I don't really have to worry about that rivet because I don't have any vinyl on it. You can come down here to the next one, do the same thing, peel it off. Away we go, same thing. So we're going to lay our tape. And you can see I've got this little dent. I might get a little wrinkle right here, but I think we're going to be okay. Yeah, we got right around her, no big deal. The little wrinkle right there, that'll push out. And again, we're right around our rivets. We didn't. Here again, I'm going to go ahead and draw my rivets. I've got one right there, and I've got a line coming down. I've got one there, and another one there. You don't have to do this. I'm just drawing this so that you can see where my rivet line is to help you kind of understand what we're doing. What I'm going to do, because this tail is kind of funky, and to lay it down and do it all at the same time would be tough, I'm going to go ahead and cut right here and lay this little skinny piece over here by itself. I'll cut that out, hold her down. If you don't want to deal with the big long piece, you can cut that into as many chunks as you want to make it a little easier to handle. So go ahead and same process, flip it up. Make sure you always get that tape started. Get that tape on there nice and straight and flat, and then you can start laying. So we're about halfway through. You can see my rivet coming up. I'm going to lighten up on my pressure just a little bit when I get to that rivet. But I'm gonna lay just like it's not there. You just keep laying, just a little less pressure, and now I can come up and finish my graphic. And essentially what I've done there, oops, I can fix that, no big deal there. Essentially what I've done is created a bubble right around there. No big deal. That's exactly what you want, is a great big bubble right over your rivet. So here we're gonna do the same thing. This one we're gonna have a few more rivets to deal with, no big deal. Fold her down. And if you're working by yourself with a bigger piece, a lot of times it's easier to hinge it from the top, and then gravity will help you hold it down nice and straight. Because I have this funky piece, I went from the bottom up on this one. But don't be afraid to hinge it from the top. A lot of times that's actually easier. So on this one, because it's such a big piece, instead of pulling the backing all the way off, I'm just going to pull it halfway down, and that'll help me hold it nice and straight until I get further up. So you can hold it with one hand in the middle, and I'm holding my graphic nice and straight. Go ahead and lay your tape. And then off we go. Same thing, we're going to run into a rivet right away. Just lay as if it wasn't there, no big deal. You're going to create a bubble, that's exactly what we want. There's our next one right there. Now into where my backing ends, I want to go ahead and pull it all the way off. Grab it in the middle, try to grab it where your graphic is not. And keep going. Now I'm going to finish this out a little different because this rivet is off of my graphic. So instead of laying like it's not there, I'm going to go ahead and lay that graphic right there because I'm not worried about creating a wrinkle. I don't have to go up here, and then same thing here. Let's go ahead and finish that out like so. Now go ahead and peel your tape off. I don't want to peel all this off at one time with these rivets. So I'm going to go ahead and come here somewhere in the middle. I'm just going to create a little tear and then go pull this backing off a half at a time. You never want to pull your backing off like that because that will tend to pull the graphic off of your surface. Always pull it back flat on itself. Again, these are bigger letters. You can go pretty fast. If you're dealing with smaller copy or smaller pieces, maybe like a flourish or something, you want to go slower and just make sure that nothing peels up. Make sure when you're cleaning these vehicles that you clean around these rivets really, really good, because if you've got dirt in around that rivet, it's going to fail right there first. The backing material that we pulled off is super, super slick. So if you're throwing it on the floor and walking around your workspace, it's really easy to step on it and slip. So just be careful, try to keep your workspace